Hopefully that works. I don't know. Hey, it's Bryon Lape back with an alcohol review, and not beer and not other things. Forget what we've all tried. We've also tried some other beverages, and I'm going to do something different. So I have a party pack of the 99 proof. One of the complaints people have is they don't finish a beer on camera. We're going to try and finish all these. And also what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to change shirts. We're going to try and do this as one video. It'll probably take 4 days to upload with HughesNet, but hey, we'll see what happens. So I've got my Hard Rock Cafe shot glass. We've got a little bit more than shot oriented things, but I am going to break up. So this camera only does 20 minutes at a time. So there will be some breaks. The mountains behind me are, the sun's going down, so pretty soon I'm going to have to close the curtains anyway. But got this at, it's a new liquor store in town. I mean, just opened a few weeks ago. When I first was in there, they were literally open 2 days. Their shelves are now full. Is it just Mountain City Spirits, I think? But anyway, so we've got in here apple, banana, black cherry, butterscotch, cinnamon, peach, pineapple, root beer, and watermelon, and espresso coffee. And so I actually want to try it this direction. I'm going to go around this way. I think the espresso is this one, but I'm going to save it for last. Root beer I've had before and I like it. So the idea is I'm going to do a few of these. I got a timer off camera so I know when to go hit the record again. Edit it together so there will be some jumps. You will see the curtains close because it's just too reflective and all that. And we'll see how this goes. And maybe like the big podcast channels do, I'll break some of these up into pieces or something. I don't know. We can pretend to be in the Timcast. Maybe that's as far as it goes. So let's find out what we have in square number one. We have pineapple. So this is 99 proof. These are $1 a piece, this size. They do make a bigger size, that's $2. Technically, yeah, so I don't know if it's twice as much, but twice as much would be $2.98, but I think they're $2.99. Or $1.99, not $2.99. And you get 5 cents back in Maine. I don't know why. Now, these can be an absolute pain to open. In fact, I'm going to get a grippy when I have to reset the camera. Now, this is cheap alcohol. It does get you there. It's 99 proof, so it's 49.5% alcohol. We'll see how well I do with this. So these were in the refrigerator, but they've been sitting out a while. And I actually like these cold. But this has a nice pineapple smell on the nose. And you can definitely smell the alcohol. This is, I don't even know what kind of alcohol they're using with this. It's probably fermented quickly and then distilled. Yeah, you get this nice pineapple and then smack, hey, I'm alcohol. Almost not quite as bad as rubbing alcohol. And usually the first one of these really gets to my nose and it heats up. It's very hot, very warming. That's the alcohol, the cinnamon worms going down. Wow. And I'm not a big pineapple fan, but that is pretty decent for what it is. Okay, remember, if you bought it separately, and I think this was pretty much 99 cents, 99, times 10. So like $9.99 or something like that. I don't remember, but wow, the alcohol really burns with this. But and I know it's supposed to be a shot, so let's take a shot. That, it's probably pretty good that I'm not a fan of pineapple. Because if I was, I'd be disappointed. This is not a pineapple daiquiri or something like that. It's not that strong. But, so I guess it's almost 2 shots by this shot glass. This is a shot glass, by the way, that I got when I worked for AAA. I had this big bag of, I had 2 bottles of wine, which I don't remember what I ever did with. I think I gave them to my sister-in-law. But I won it because I put a Hard Rock Cafe, one of those temporary tattoo things on my forehead and went to a party. But anyway, that is quite interesting. A little disappointed. It has okay pineapple. It's a little disappointing. So let's finish it. Then we'll get a sip of water. I'm Brain Muffin and I like apples. About that. So this is the 99 proof apples, part of the next one in the party pack. So are we going, we're not going in order as, maybe I ought to do that. So I'll do that after this. This was the first one. Oh, is it alphabetical? It is. Cool. We'll go alphabetical after this. I'll just go by the label. Is it the same? It is on the same. So I don't know where they are. There's peaches. They're not in the box in alphabetical order. So this ought to be fun by about 4 or 5 of these. Because I haven't eaten either. Apples. 99 proof liqueur. I like the LI. So does it say what kind of alcohol it is? Like what the source? Most likely if I'm going to read it I got to take my glasses off. No, there is a website, 2 websites, something.com and something else.com. I'm probably going to have to take a picture and enlarge it. One of these days I'm going to get reading glasses. I've been needing them probably for 10 years and these glasses are horribly out. Oh, now that's a nice apple smell. Almost like a green apple, like a green delicious. Yeah, golden delicious, I guess. It has this green apple though, and it's not like a Granny Smith. There's not a sourness to it. So, but almost like the meat of the apple, not the rind. Almost feels chunky. So let's see how it is. Now, as we would expect with this alcohol, it does burn. My tongue is on fire. But man, that is a very, for 99 cents for this bottle, that is a very good apple flavor. Now I'm sure it's artificial. I highly doubt they threw a bunch of apples in, but who knows, maybe they did. Yeah, and it lingers. That flavor really lingers. It's got a nice apple on the nose. In mid-mouth, it's a bit apple, and then the alcohol shows up and just kind of burns everything. But man, that is very interesting. It's very interesting for an apple flavor. And yeah, so I'm not sure how that's how most people would drink these, but very interesting. You know, I didn't give the pineapple a rating, but the apple, I don't really have anything to compare it to. I have had some apple beers, some apple ales, you know, where they've put apples in the flavoring. The thing about apples is you're competing with ciders, and I know my timer just went to where I can't see it, because in 20 minutes it all shuts off if it hasn't already. But quite often when you do ciders, it puts almost every alcohol derived, maybe apple core in Germany is I think that's distilled, but it has some nice apple flavors and is pretty good. But it's not like an apple cider. Obviously it's very clear, that's why I think it's artificially flavored. But whatever they use is pretty good. It's pretty close. That's why I'm interested in the banana, because the banana artificial flavor was like from the 50s, I think. And my understanding is the bananas, something happened worldwide to the bananas, and what we have now is like a clone of a clone of a clone, and they're almost tasteless of a banana. The praline, plantains and all that, there's different flavors. And so the banana flavor you get in stuff is and that's what bananas used to taste like. And it's very different than the way bananas taste now. Because I think there's a banana. Yeah, we'll do that one next. Because we're going to go in alphabetical order. Because It's espresso, but I'm thinking it's double espresso, so it's very vulgar. I might be licking myself by then, but bottoms up, and then we'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna belch though. Yeah, we're doing this more like the Try channel. I'm supposed to talk it. No, that's horrible. Bottoms up. I kind of whipped on that one. You know, Royal Crown I've had chilled and much bigger and shot it at once, but not the cheap alcohol. Now, we're going to try some banana. So we did the pineapple and apple. Should we assume, because there is, I guess I need to do this from time to time. Oh, no. Should we assume bananas is got a yellow label? Ha! We are correct. 99 proof bananas. Now, as I was saying during the apple segment, the artificial flavor that we have for bananas is based, I think it's the 50s, it may have been earlier than that. And something happened worldwide with bananas, and what we have now is not the same kind of banana when that was made, which is why when you buy some banana flavoring, now I think most people who've had a banana flavor something, they now know what to expect, and it doesn't match what a banana tastes like. In fact, bananas don't really have much of a flavor. And I wonder if the banana pudding, which usually most people do artificially, and then they put slices of bananas and then the vanilla wafers, the Nilla wafers around it. I wonder if you made that with real bananas, if it would be as interesting a combination. Sorry, the alcohol's starting to get, we were down in town today, and my allergies have been going crazy. I've taken 2 allergy pills. It's just the over-counter stuff. And then we had the yard mode, and how are the mountains doing? All right, well, after this one, I'll close it. So we'll see a bit of a jump, because I'm going to double check that the camera's still working, and make sure I'm not so blitzed that I can't continue. At least the idea is to continue this. The rate I'm going won't get there. So, banana brands, so 99 proof. It does say 99 brand on here. That's what threw me. Now, why I wonder is the bananas, is this one, okay, that's different colors, and I didn't even care to look at it, but it's kind of brown and subdued. Oh, it's the exact same palette, just shifted. So what's, apples is different. Whoops. So, pineapple flavor, banana flavor. We shift the yellow. I don't think the yellow shifted. No, the yellow I think is the same, even on the cap. But so they go green, pink, no, blue, pink, green. The other one goes green, orange, brown, and a lighter green, and a different brown. Huh. Very interesting. There's more variety here. That's a bigger word. But it's pretty much a palette shift. So let's see what we've got. And then this will be a good pause point. Some of these can be an absolute pain to get open. All right, I'm gonna have to get the grippies. Banana 99%. Now that I've taken a break and you missed it. So we got the opening, we got the grippies. I said we're gonna get the grippies. I don't know what to call these. I don't even know where my wife got these. We've had these for years. I don't even know. So this does smell like the artificial banana flavor that everybody's used to, and if you're not old enough to remember what bananas used to taste like before, whatever happened, you're like, that's not what a banana tastes like. And you would be correct. It was. Well, what I don't understand about that is when, because I think there was a worldwide, something happened worldwide, and there's a plantain that smells like that. They're usually green, from what I remember. When we lived in Cincinnati, not far from us was the Sabaro, I think. It was a Peruvian restaurant, and they had things with plantains, and those were very good. But that's kind of what these smelled like. So we have the, man, my voice is echoing quite a bit. We have the artificial banana flavor, and it's very prevalent. So this is why I think these are probably most likely artificially flavored. I could be wrong. And if 99 proof, if that's not the case, let me know. So that's what, you know, since I don't have my glasses on, I might be able to read this. Nope, still can't. Still can't. So let's see how this tastes, and I'll assume it's recording. See, there's a possibility if the alcohol source wasn't so cheap. This is one where I'd like to taste it with better alcohol. I don't know if it'd be, see, I don't want rum though. I don't want that sugary taste. However, that banana flavor in a daiquiri type setting would probably be pretty good. But it'd probably be more like a vodka that is a pure vodka that's very clean. It doesn't have to be 99 proof either, because that also gets in the way. Because that is really good. These other two were decent. That's a 5 out of 5 if I didn't get my tongue burnt off by the alcohol. Now, part of the problem is these have been sitting out for now for like an hour and a half, because it took me forever to get started. And I might throw these back in, but then I gotta turn the refrigerator back on. Because I should have put it in the freezer maybe. And my son likes a peanut butter or the peanut flavored alcohol, which this, you know, whoops, I don't have one of these. Let's get rid of this. We do have one that we got him. He doesn't watch these, so otherwise I won't give away his birthday gift, but I've tried that and I really like it. Very, very good. Hopefully I'm being loud. Here's the problem, is now that the sun's down, and we close this off, this has made a huge difference in the echo I get in my left ear of the living room and entryway off the camera this way. And at some point, actually my wife suggested that we do this in the living room, or at least try to shoot out that way. The problem that I have is this house faces southeast. So all day those mountains behind me, and that's Stone Mountain. So if earlier on you saw the in the background you saw a mountain, that is called Stone Mountain. Now it's not to be confused with Stone Mountain, Georgia. There's no carvings on that, but that is the state line. So the very top of that is the state line between Tennessee and North Carolina. Now, north of us, well, technically northeast, it turns north, and then the state line goes south. It's very bizarre, and my guess is in Trade, Tennessee, was an area where the white settlers and the Indians traded, and the white settlers, the people who really wanted to pull away from North Carolina, and they wanted that trading post to not be in state control. That's only, well, I guess it would have been a colony at the time. It's only a guess. But, so it's banana in the very small hint of medicinal alcohol. And that's part of the problem with these. Again, 99 cents. I'm not complaining. I know people are going to say, oh, you're complaining, old man. I'm not. These get you there. And then what I like about them is it drops off pretty quickly. And I'm being way blabbermouthy. But it's pretty much the artificial flavor banana that you get in almost anything banana flavored. Let's see, Etsy. It doesn't linger as strongly as the apple. There goes my tongue again. So my only problem, and It's not as noticeable when these have been in the freezer as opposed to refrigerator. Sometimes I do put them in the freezer. And that inexpensive, cheap alcohol, see, you can get yeast. Now, Jungle Gyms, and I never tried it, and I should have. They had a liquid yeast packet that was made, it was like, I want to say 36 hours. It could get to like 13, 14, maybe 15%, because it was one of these 20% alcohol yeast. Now, to get much over that, you have to have a very good nitrogen injection, and that's usually a problem. And so these home brewers that put O2 tanks in and they get a nice air stone, you're missing the boat. You've got to have a pump for an aquarium, usually about a 15 to 20 gallon. What I don't remember, there is a filter you need to get. It's a pretty small micron filter to put in between, and you get an air stone. And it's best to get a metal air stone so that you can clean it, because you need the nitrogen. That's most, if you look at yeast nutrient, most of it is nitrogen. And I know they're trying to cut off the nitrogen, I get it. But the nitrogen helps the yeast. This is why nitrogen's in fertilizer. So, because plants need it, and things that are growing need it, people need it. This is one of the things with the bends and all that other stuff. This is why you don't breathe pure oxygen. So when you use pure oxygen to aerate your wort before you ferment, you are mistaken. You absolutely need N2 as well. I don't think you need a nitrous oxide, so don't hit up and you definitely don't need N2O2. If you're looking for N2O2 from a dentist, please stop. However, that is what you need to inject into your engine. But that's also what's in a lot of the nitrogen-oriented supplements, so your nitro and all that. N2O2 is laughing gas for those who failed high school chemistry. But injected into the intake manifold, I'll get it right eventually. I know, I'm 3 in and I'm pretty much done. It's the nitrogen, see, the nitrogen and the oxygen, if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I've had biology. Oxygen gets used better in a nitrogen environment, okay? This is why some of the big brewers, when they grind their grain, they slightly moist it and they use nitrogen gas, so N2, no oxygen, environment. They inject it in so that there's no O2. Good problem with alcohol and other things is O2. O2 is very corrosive. Oxygen is a very interesting gas. So for us, we need oxygen. We have to breathe, and that's part of the respiration, but nitrogen's also in there. This is why if you scuba dive and stuff, you have this balance between nitrogen and oxygen. And nitrogen, it's nitrogen, the larger molecule, I forget now. Because O2 is, oxygen is 8, I think. It's been a long time since I've had chemistry. But that's the nitrogen bubbles can't get out. Now, nitrogen bubbles, it must be smaller, it must be lower, it must be 6. Because carbonation, CO2, is a pretty decent sized molecule. And granted, it's 2 oxygens. And that's your big bubbles. But your nitrous oxide, NO, but see, NO is negative, so it's NO2. Those are the smaller bubbles. So anyway, banana. See, there's people going to be watching this going, oh my God, this guy won't shut the freak up, which is pretty much true. See, here's what's interesting about me. When I'm nervous, I'm either one of two things. I don't say anything or I talk way too much. I have no in between, unfortunately. So if you want to know more about that, INTJ, I did several videos on being an INTJ, growing up INTJ, some of my more popular videos at one time. But this is a 5 out of 5 on the artificial banana scale, if such a thing exists. Man, wish I knew where everybody. Oh, there they are. Oh my goodness, I put them on the stove. How stupid. Anyway, 5 out of 5, banana flavor. I really wish it didn't have that huge burn mid-mouth, but in all honesty, if you're buying the 99-cent alcohol, you probably don't care that it's burning. Try Channel, here's to you guys, and I don't remember the name of the young lady who could drink like crazy. She's Irish though, we're all Irish. Martin, dude, if you ever come to the US, please look me up. We've got to have some rum together. Whiskey. As Martin would say, 10 out of 10. So black cherries. If you were to make a guess as which one has black cherries, would it be red or black cap? Red, you say? You would actually be correct. So here we have Brain Muffin trying the black cherry. It's 99 proof, and I understand my language is probably getting very slurred. In interesting fashion, the color scheme of this one seems to be similar, but not identical to the apples. Now, some of you are going to wonder, why in the world, old man, are you comparing the color schemes to these berries? Because part of what I'm trying to understand, because I was going by the order the things were in, is understanding their idea of labeling them in a specific order. And my phone has decided it needs to lock again, and I've got 5 minutes before the camera shuts off. So, black cherry. Now this is one of those things, I remember back in the 80s when Coca-Cola came out with their black cherry flavor, because you had your cherry Coke and you had your black, well maybe it was 7-Up. But I remember somebody came out with black cherry in the mid-80s, I want to say 85-ish, because I was still in junior ROTC, which is only the first half of my senior year. But it was when I had it during lunch, so it had to be 85. And what I couldn't understand is there are these bright red cherries that you can buy, which don't exist. They're cherries that have been artificially, you know, the coloring has been brightened artificially. And then there's this concept of black cherry, which is a darker cherry, which has a distinct cherry flavor, which I'm not a big fan of cherries. So quite often when I get ice cream and there's a cherry, I just go spoon and go, off it goes. I don't know what a black cherry is in reference to that. I think it's just a dark cherry. There's and here's the problem when I've been drinking and, you know, I'm not great at pronunciation. I try very hard to be good at pronunciation. So hopefully I am loud enough for my camera to pick it up, and I do have a microphone that I've been meaning to use for years, but with the move, it got packed away and now it's been unpacked and I'm looking at it going, I think I should do this. And here's the thing about this one, is we have time to open it, but we don't have time to drink it before the camera turns off. So here's what I'm going to do so that the edit isn't too goofy. I'm going to say 99% cherry, black cherry, because it is buh, so we're in the buhs. Oh, God grief. I think I need to stack these better. I mean, these are empty, so they're very easy to knock over, but I don't know if they're on camera, because butterscotch is next. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the freezer, and then we're going to finish. This 7-Up had a cherry flavor, and there was somebody else in the mid to late 80s that had a cherry flavor. I don't think it was ginger ale. There was some other soft drink, and if you know, put it in the comments below because I don't remember offhand. It was actually really good, and then when they discontinued it, I was very upset. I don't think it was 7-Up, but I also don't think it was Canada Dry Ginger Ale, and it definitely wasn't Coke. It was some clear soda, soft drink, whatever you want to call it, pop. That was black cherry, 30 some odd years ago, and if you remember, let me know. So we're gonna pause and we're gonna edit right back and cut, and it's gonna look hilarious. But that is the problem with doing this as a goofball. So black cherries are a mystery. However, while on break, I looked up something about 99 brand. Now I find this very interesting, and hopefully I can read it even with my glasses on. Oh no, I can't. So 99 brand delivers the most intense drink experience with extreme flavor and energy. The energy part has me bothered is not the right word. Confused might be. 99 brand is a 99 proof full flavor shot, and as we've seen with this size of shot, which is probably pretty much your I don't know what the right novelty shot. It's like half the size. It combines bold flavors with high proof, which is definitely true, giving consumers, a great tasting intense shot. Now, when we looked at the pineapple, that was missing. Remember I said that was kind of weak sauce. Apple was good, the banana was very good. And the black cherry, which I hope to try, which has been in the freezer now for I don't know how long. Big and explosive, right there, it's in quotes, explosive tastes that capture the essence of consumer favorites, extreme flavor in every shot. Kind of repetitive here. Now this is Sazerac brands. Tasting notes: taste the sweet tropics and let your imagination take over, which is kind of goofy, but okay. And apparently on the website, the Sazerac, they actually make some other stuff too, which I'm going to have to find and try. So black cherry, it has been longer than you might imagine, despite the cuts and the edits. And it's going to be one of those weird things. People are going to go, hey, man, there's an edit here. All right, see, almost no aroma. Now, maybe this is the problem with putting it in the freezer, and it, oddly enough, is a little thicker, even though it's pretty high in alcohol, not frozen. Now, that is one of the things that people will do, and then they go bang on something and it freezes, but not this one. That's the espresso. Is that the espresso? Oh, I thought that was the espresso. That must be the root beer. So, if you go into a grocery store and you look for black cherry, I'm not sure you're going to find it. It is a darker cherry. And cherry is one of those flavors that I'm like, what is it supposed to be? Because I don't know. I'm not a big cherry fan, like I said already. So there's hints of this cherryness on the nose. So let's see, post burn. I bet you we're going to get a burn this time because it's been too long. I got playing on Facebook and I got sidetracked. Now, this is off their website, okay? I only highlighted and printed what I highlighted. Intense flavor is right. See, this is where I wonder if they used a better source of alcohol. So one that's not fermented so quickly and distilled so quickly. And they took a tiny bit of time, not a lot. I mean, I don't want a $4 shot. But this one has hints of being better and more intense if the alcohol wasn't so... I mean, it's like mid-mouth, the alcohol just takes over. And it just burns everything. just burns off your taste buds. It burns the roof of your mouth when you swallow, and it's like warm all the way down. So from a flavor standpoint, and as you can see, my sinuses are coming back because it's been too long. This does remind me of the cherry craze of the mid-'80s. And it lasted for several years. It lasted, I want to say, around 90. The problem is I lived in Knoxville after my dad retired, and Cheerwine came in about 88, 89, somewhere in there. And it kind of, that was out of one of the Carolinas, and it kind of put a odd spin on the cherry craze. But, I mean, there was cherry 7-Up, I could have sworn there was cherry ginger ale, but that seems kind of goofy. But it does have a very intense cherry flavor on the nose. And so what I like about the concept of a black cherry, it's a little bit darker fruit flavor, which I get in some of my home brews when I've done a darker stout or something, when I use debittered malts and then use a Belgian yeast. And that has been a problem of late. Well, now they've moved, not so much. But Paradise, when they went to the dry, all dry yeast, they're great, they activate very well, but the flavors aren't there. I don't know why. Gotta have, but this is good. This is good. I'm not a huge, like I said, I'm not a huge cherry fan, but this is pretty good. This is like a 4 out of 5. It's just the burn is just something I can't deal with. Now, some of you are going to notice I did not finish it, and you are correct. But somewhere in the back of my mind, here's the thing. I'm going to get to some other later thing, and I'm going to make a random comment that's going to make no sense whatsoever. I mean, I don't even know if these are in why are my white socks here? But there is a cherry flavor. Cherry soda flavor. This reminds me of from back in the. It was wild cherry. It was wild cherry something. See, this is my senior year of high school, 1985 in the fall. There was a soda available at the ROTC grill. It was wild cherry something. Maybe it was just wild cherry. That's exactly what this reminds me of. And that semester ended in January. Then I had a schedule conflict. I didn't want to do junior RPC anymore. Realized that was a waste of my time. It took me 2.5 years to realize that. I should have just taken PE. Should have taken physical education instead of mechanical drawing in Smithsburg, and taken French 2 in 10th grade. But what was that? It wasn't 7-Up. It was some other soda. It wasn't, maybe it was Sprite. I think it was wild cherry Sprite. That might be it. I don't know. That, keeping the pants. Butterscotch, or as Kelly used to say many, many years ago, chocolate scotch. So, is it the pink or is it the orange? Because I haven't looked. Well, no, the pink I think I know is peach. Watermelon. That's peach. Butterscotch brown. Okay. Hey, it's Brain Muffin back with a butterscotch review. See, some of you are going to be like, why is he saying that? So, here we have 99 proof. So, I don't know how well this is going to work. Give me a tiny, that's too much. So, my friends back in, well, technically in Kentucky, near Cold Springs, not quite, I'm not sure if it's at Alexandria. They were supposed to get together tonight, and hopefully they did. Haven't been to a bottle share in like 2 years. Oh my goodness. Now, I never fully ingratiated myself, is probably the right word, with the Werther's butterscotch candy. there was something about the texture that never really, it's like the flavor was good, but something was unsatisfying about it. But this is what I remember. And there was a soft chew butterscotch too that was more of a caramel. There was a caramel and there was a butterscotch square. I want to say it was a cube in plastic. It was very annoying to open. I don't think you were supposed to eat it as a candy. I think you're supposed to melt it down, but that's what this reminds me of, both of those. This is, and I like the butterscotch flavor. This is intense. So now here, see, this is where the cold liquid, I can see it moving around. This is where the website is correct. This is an intense flavor. Of all of these I've tried so far, absolutely the most intense on the nose from pouring. Now, it may be because I had these in the freezer, I don't know how long. Kind of went on hiatus for way too long on the Facebook, was chatting with people. I don't need this thing going blank on me. Here's the irony of this is I'm supposed to be doing some stuff with Raid Shadow Legends tonight. There's no way. There's no way. This is incredible. Now I understand that it's artificially flavored and that it's probably from the gland of some sea otter or something. The butterscotch is so well done that when you inhale deeply through the nose, you can almost feel the butterscotch. And I really don't know what the heck the butterscotch is. But that, I mean, it has a butteriness to it, and then there's scotch, if that makes any sense. I guess the dogs need water. It even has a buttery feel, mouth feel. Now this I don't know how they do, because these are pretty much just some cheap alcohol distilled and artificial flavor thrown in. Now you could say because I put it in the freezer, but I didn't get that with the black cherry, and it was in the freezer too. But it has a heaviness in the mouthfeel that the other flavors don't have, at least so far. It has a lingering effect on the lips, more so than the tongue. And again, I don't remember what those candies were, but when I was growing up, we had these, they were individually wrapped, and I'm fairly certain you're supposed to melt them, and I think maybe once or twice we put like golden delicious apples in them, but pretty much we just ate them straight. And yeah, it's like, it is a very intense butteriness to this one. This is, you know, I think I gave the was it the apple or was it the banana 5 out of 5? Can I give it 6 out of 5? This is really good. This is really, really good. I did not think this would be a favorite. Might be a little strong. However, I will say this, if this is available individually, this is definitely what I want to mix with certain other flavors. I'm not sure. No, maybe root beer, but nothing else in this one. I'll have to think on that. The cinnamon might work. But what really perplexes me is why it has a feel, a thicker viscosity feel than it should, considering what it is. So I don't know how much of that is just me associating this butteriness to a thicker feel than actually is there. But it definitely has that lingering butterscotch. What I always associate with the butterscotch, it's like there's a hint of butter, and it's not scotch as in like it's sort of like a Scotch whiskey if you could extract the alcohol out. So there's this malty, almost hint of peat that's associated with it. The butterscotch is one of those odd flavors. It's like, what does that mean? because it definitely has a butteriness. It almost has a reminder of buttery popcorn without the popcorn, if that makes sense. And my phone's about to lock up on me. I think we have 3 minutes, and so this is going to be an interesting edit. So let's finish out the butterscotch, and we'll hit the button. We'll come right back, and it'll be very strange. Well, it's my channel. I'm Channel Dad Bryon Lape, and it is odd to be with you. So we finished the butterscotch flavor. I did have my wife try this. She doesn't like butterscotch, but she understands the butterscotch intensity. Now, for those of you who complain about beer reviews that don't finish the... You gotta be kidding me, Toby. Really? Now? That don't finish the beer, this is why. I'm Brain Muffin, and I have an alcohol review for you with cinnamon. So I've let the dogs out. Here's what's crazy. No matter how incapacitated I may appear to you, I still have stuff I actually have to do in real life as Toby goes for I don't know what. And it doesn't matter that I've been shooting reviews. What is this? I don't even know what time it is. It's quarter to 12. I started at 8 o'clock. We are 5 out of 10 in 3.5 hours, and I don't even know how I'm still doing this. So some of you are like, well, dude, why can't you wait till next week? Because I am that kind of OCD moron. Toby, please stop walking around. Now, unfortunately, even though it is nearly, that's not going to work, nearly 12, this light isn't that hot, but these lights, here's what's goofy about these old style lights. I like their aesthetic, but they are so hot. Now, when I was at Walmart, so we went to Walmart today, in Elizabeth, and we went to Walmart 3 weeks ago. I found these lights as LEDs. My wife's like, oh, you don't need to buy them. She hates this light setup. Toby, if you're going to want, stop it. People are going to wonder. But anyway, cinnamon 99%. This one I've had multiple times in the 99-cent reviews. It is very, very good. Now, some of you are going to be like, well, do you like it better than the Fireball whiskey? And unfortunately, that's like asking me to tell you my favorite child. That's not going to happen. It's Zachariah. No, I'm just kidding. I like both of my children for very different reasons. They have very different personalities. And the Fireball whiskey, when you see about the same price, although I think it's usually $1.99 for the same size bottle, maybe a little bit bigger. But the difference is that it's a whiskey, and so it has this kind of, there's a little bit of a malty backbone there. Sometimes a little bit of a smoky backbone. This doesn't have it. However, it's very cinnamon. Here's what I understand about cinnamon. If you were to take cinnamon off the shelf and just eat some, it's not hot. So why is cinnamon candy and anything cinnamon derived considered hot? As far as I know, in the cinnamon bark, there's no capsaicin. So naturally, there's no heat. Yet, with cinnamon candy and other things, there's heat associated with it. If you look at Indian recipes, many of them call for cinnamon. They aren't necessarily hot, without the capsaicin. I don't. This is one of those things about the cinnamon herb. I guess it's considered an herb because it is the vegetable part of the plant, the bark, that provides the spice, not the fruit. And I don't understand why it's hot. And I really, really like cinnamon. This goes back like to 8th grade, so we're talking 1981. Very nice. Again, the alcohol presence comes in the nose, and I know I spelled it. And then to me, this is like the, it's not the Jolly Rancher. Hold on. Now, to me, this flavor is like the candy Fireball, that gobstopper. It's like cinnamon, and you want to hold it in your mouth, but you want to take it out until it turns white and then turns sweet. That's what this is like. I really want to mix it with the apple. And unfortunately I spilt it on my hand. But I like the Fireball whiskey that you can get. I'm pretty certain it's a bottle a bit bigger than this. I mean, I understand you can get the bigger ones. But the Fireball whiskey, when cold, now I've got egg over here. So I've got egg over here. This is a goofy part about dogs. Take them out at 11 o'clock at night, and now they're all wired. Toby's over here. Come here. I don't know what you want. You got treats. But I should have mixed it with this. Because I wonder if in the right proportions, you'd have the semblance of an apple pie. So I'm guessing 2/3, 1/3. That's only a guess. Now, cinnamon on the nose, it lingers. And here's the thing about the inexpensive alcohol. I won't say cheap, so that sounds bad. When you have the inexpensive alcohol burn mid-mouth and cinnamon, so that's the difference between the Fireball whiskey, because the Fireball whiskey has a smoothness to it. The malt backbone of the whiskey provides a smoothness. So you have this spike of cinnamon, comes down, in mid-mouth it kind of levels out, and you get this nice cinnamon finish. This, because of the inexpensive 99 proof alcohol, you have cinnamon, and where mid-mouth you'd come down, it spikes up. It intensifies, and I let my wife read the printout, and I don't have it, but it is intense. That's why in the future video, sometime, I'm gonna see if I can get these two separate. You know what? There's a little bit in here. I can actually smell that already. Because I'm guessing, oh my goodness. Here's what, that tiny, tiny, tiny bit of the apple I can smell. And the cinnamon lingering in the background. That's why it may be incorrect. It may be half and half instead of 2/3 and 1/3. It might actually be a half, because that is incredibly intense apple. I mean, that has been sitting out for hours. It reminds me of 8th grade home economics when we made apple pie. We had cinnamon, and I think, if I remember correctly, I don't remember who was on my team. Sean Pugh may have been part of it. I think I doubled the cinnamon. Oh. Close, but not quite. Hey, it's Brain Muffle back with alcohol reviews, and we are 6 out of 10 into stupidity. Now we have peaches, which is this one, 99 proof. So peaches, most people associate peaches with Georgia. Here's what's very odd. Back in the back of my brain, it would have been in 89, or was it 90? Summer of 89 or 90, I think it was 90. I took Geography of Appalachia. And I remember very, very little other than I was a moron. I mean, there was things that people had told me, bits and pieces of information that were correct, but it didn't have context. And so, peaches used to be a thing in and around Knoxville. So, and apparently this happened also in Cincinnati area, but not as intense. My understanding is that peaches used to grow in East Tennessee along the Tennessee River until there was a blight. The saying goes that you could walk across the Tennessee River without getting your feet wet based on the peaches being dumped in. And since the blight, peaches have been associated with Georgia, and so much so that it's the state fruit. So, but from what I understand, peaches in East Tennessee, basically between Knoxville and Chattanooga, were larger and sweeter. Tobuscus, please stop whining. They can't see you. They think that's just some goofy noise and I'm petting air. I know. It's very, very, very late. So we have peaches 99%. Now, based on the other 6 that I've had, and based on their website, I fully expect this to be intense. I have 6 minutes. I also expect that the peach flavor is artificially flavored. Okay, here's what's goofy. This is the sweet peach, overly sweet peach of Georgia, northern Georgia in particular. In Tennessee, when you can find them and the blight has not killed them, you still can find a handful of places that have peaches. And I said something about Cincinnati. Cincinnati had, maybe I'm wrong, I know they also had vineyards. But where my parents lived, not too far from there, is a place called Peach Orchard, which my mom's side of the family had farmland for years. Now they don't anymore. It's been long gone, probably in the 70s. The peaches of that area, as well as Knoxville, were supposed to be larger and sweeter than the peaches you get from Georgia. However, they didn't have the texture, and of course the blight wiped them out. So, when I think of peaches, it's this sweet and a hint of sour. Just kind of sweet as a spike and very tiny bit of hint of sour. Almost, sour is not the right word. Tart. And I spilled it everywhere. I cannot believe I just did that. But that's exactly what I smell from this. Now, not too dissimilar from the butterscotch version, there is a hint of texture, of mouthfeel with this one. Now I know these were in the freezer, but it's been a while. So there's a hint of mouthfeel, there's a hint of viscosity in the alcohol that is not present in any of these others except the butterscotch. This is very interesting because what I don't understand, that's cinnamon, is what is the viscosity difference? Because, I mean, we get the Surgeon General's warning and that's it. Right? There's nothing else on the label that would give us a hint that there's a viscosity difference. So, and I had my wife try this one, and she noticed the same thing. So again, is it psychosomatic hint based on the flavor, or is there a difference in the liquid version? We don't know. Root beer 99, my favorite flavor, but it is so late and I'm so drunk I don't care. So, thank you for watching, if you are still watching at this point, if I'm even still recording at this point. And if not, I get to do it all over again. I get to start 3 hours, not 2, 3 hours earlier. Thank you so much for clicking like and subscribing and clicking the bell, because I'm about to puke. Alright, Tobuscus, you're in the way, but that's fine. Blah and blah. Can I see myself? One of them, two. And we need this. You know what? I know my glasses are missing, but it'll make the cut more hilarious. We can put this at the end.